All right, so I just received this beautiful piece in the mail. We're going to take a look at it. Before we do, real quick, this is coming from Skybound specifically. That's important because they're the ones who have this on sale. It is an incredible sale. If you're a fan of The Walking Dead, fan of the show, a fan of zombies, or a fan of Negan, it's like 60% off, 60, 65. It runs around 400. It's on sale for about 150. And as you'll see when we look at the details, it's a price you just can't beat. And the guys at Skybound are fantastic. Any problems you have, hit them up. And there's probably a chance you'll never have a problem because this thing is in a box. It's in styrofoam, in a box with spacers, in a box. I'm not even playing around. The likelihood that this gets damaged in shipping is slim to none. Anyhow, if anything does happen though, hit them up. They're great people. Now, originally I did review a few years ago this comic Negan statue. It is made by the same company, McFarlane Toys. Fantastic. I did take a little peek and it looks like the size is just slightly different. So the comic is just a hair bigger as far as the heads of the characters. Here's Days Gone. We have the Rick. This is the original one I purchased like 6 years ago. Funny enough, I actually bought this one on sale. I got two of them at the same time for $150 each and then sold the second one to pay for that and more. That's what I mean when they sell all their stock, they skyrocket in price. So let's take a look at this guy. Here's the beautiful box and it comes in the styrofoam and I'll show you what it looks like as you pop it open. I'm not sure what's on the bottom, but the very top here, it might be the same thing, but this says The Walking Dead AMC. Just to give you an idea, you'll feel a little bit of weight. So set it down on that side and then cut around the first section. There's 3 layers. Gently lift the top and then you'll see the space for the statues and everything sits in there nice and neat so it doesn't break in transit. Now, I don't think we can let's start with the base. So this is the top one. I am going to pop this one off and we'll see the base under here. All right, so lifting this off, I put it to the side and then it reveals the base here and then this little piece that there's always something. There's always this little gore effect, like for the Negan right here, it is the baseball bat Lucille smashing a zombie's brains. For Rick over there, it is a bullet ripping through the zombie's head, and then this guy has an alternate hand or the head that he's tearing off. And this is like the triumphant one. I think this one's so incredible. Just triumphant standing on top of its hill. But let's go back over here and you might see this, a little tip for statue collectors for dust. I know it's funny because my daughter was shopping for makeup brushes and I was sitting in the aisle feeling the makeup brush and I thought, man, this would be perfect for statues. I thought it was onto something clever. I looked it up, and apparently this is actually what statue people do. They just like brush off some of the dust. So, whatever. I'm on the right track. Anyhow, so let's pull this guy out. I'm getting a bunch of shadow. The bottom of the box says McFarlane Toys. So you're going to want to put McFarlane Toys that side down and that'll let you know which side to start with. Now what's real cool about these bases, the 3 that I have, the Rick, the Negan, and just Rick and Negan and then this second Negan. The cool thing about it is if you take these out, this actually spins. So you can get a full 360 view all the way around and every now and then change to the position to get a different view in your collection. Now, there's the Negan iron. He likes to burn people's faces. This is the Walking Dead Negan as the nameplate. 765 out of 1,000. Like I said, when that 1,000 sells out, that's it. It's a wrap. And then here's the handle to the iron. It's one of those really old irons. And then you got a little bit of, wait, where's my little makeup brush here? Got a little bit of styrofoam. Get out of here. So you pull these out. Little protectors. Keeping it safe during shipping. There we go. And then this should spin nice and smooth. Now we've got tires here. Now one thing though, the bases are kind of plain and I've been getting into painting more and more. So within a year, I guarantee I'm going to be going in here, adding some gray to these rocks. I think this base will explode when you add a little bit of color. I'm going to be gentle though, because the whole statue is kind of the same muted color motif. Anyway, I will add some gray to those rocks, some black to the tire, and I think this is really going to pop. Here's another tire. Here's some bricks. Here's a really dented and rusty, it should be like red and rusty gas can, one of those old metal types. And then we have some more rocks and some dirt and debris and more cinder blocks and then some bricks. So there's real good sculpt work here, and I dig that. Like I said, I'm definitely going to go back in and add some color to this, but I like what they have going on here a lot. Just to get better lighting, I'll put it up there when I'm done, but just to get better lighting, I'm going to set it here and put it together so that way I can have an overhead look at what piece goes into what. So I think next we are going to rock with, I was going to say Negan's body, but I feel like sometimes it's tricky. There's a certain order with them. Look at this guy. Oh, this guy looks cool. Look at him. Got some brown in his hair. Got really deep, gory wound areas. Look at that. The cavities go real deep. And this isn't the PVC. This is poly resin. Is that what it is? Polystone or something like that. Really high quality material. Look at that. His legs missing there. Excellent detail. Detail on the boots. Looks like he is kind of resting on that boot. And you could tell that there's a magnet there with the plug. So we're going to look for, look at that. Perfect. It's almost like it was meant to be. There's, meaning it's lined up. I know it's meant to go in there, but I'm just saying, this looks like it plugs in and then his foot plugs in right there. So let's be real careful and set his hand down on that rock gentle and his boot in that slot gentle. Nice and easy, and that already looks friggin' awesome. Haha, look at that. We've got Ben. I'm going to call him Ben. How you doing, Ben? He's reaching up. A lot of the zombies in, I think it's the Daryl, the Negan, the Michonne. This one is like Rick just kicking all their asses, but a lot of these are reaching up, and they continue that with Ben here. Let's look at Negan. So far, I'm doing good at picking what goes where. Let's easily take out Negan. All right, now right away, be real careful with Negan's body. This is something that I kind of wish you could plug in, but the noose on this zombie, which is really cool because it adds a little layer of backstory, like this guy couldn't take it anymore. He ended it, the rope got old, weathered, and broke, and then he's part zombie. And look at this, he's grabbing onto Negan's jacket, trying to pull him down. He's attacking Negan as Negan's smashing another walker's brains out. But incredible detail in his boots, his pants, the shirt, the noose, the rope. And that's one thing with this type of material. They can get an incredible amount of detail. Here's detail in the shirt, more in the hands. You can even see like little nails. See what I mean? Little nails in the fingers of the zombie. So we're going to set him in. Oh, and I may have already jumped the gun. What's going on? I may have already jumped the gun because it looks like he goes in like this. Or am I envisioning something else? All right, sorry. I was wrong. I had to spin it around. Negan is going to go here. So I'm assuming there's that little flat area for his foot, and then it's going to peg in coming in from this way. I don't think I showed that in the camera good. I think I was aiming for here. It was right here where his foot rests, and then this one clips in there. The zombie just reaching off to the side of him. It fits in there real good. Oh, he comes right out. So you can come right in from the side here, and he'll plug right in. Yeah, he doesn't hold super good. So what you can do is take some sandpaper, scrape off some of that magnet area. It's just the paint that's on there. You can even scrape off some that's in the plug, the hole there, and then it may have a harder connection. I might do that in a minute and get an idea to see how well it plugs in. So I'm kind of a little worried about spinning him because he is a bit He's a bit loose, but sometimes the paint will do that. Now, it's just real quick. I'll touch it up later, but I ran a little bit of sandpaper. Now, that goes in the hole, so I don't really care how it's going to look, but it actually, let me get in here. I don't know if you hear a difference, but it's actually nice and snug in there. A lot better. I think if I take a little bit of paint off the inside, I mean, it's holding twice as good now, just taking off a little bit of that paint. With the way you spin this, it's worth it. You don't see it. It goes into the little hole. If you're worried about it being minty fresh so you can resell it, you probably just leave it in the box. All right, next up, and this guy is real cool. This is the guy whose head is being devastated by Negan. And what's awesome is you can see Negan's knife. I guess he went to stab the walker and missed somehow. Maybe the other walker around him was grabbing him when he went to stab him. So he missed his head and buried his signature knife into the chest. I friggin' love that. It doesn't come out. It is glued in there, but that is friggin' awesome. And he's got all this grossness with the ribs. It's got great detail and weathering on the pants and the boot. I love how the boot's a little torn up here. Come on. What are you doing? Yeah, there we go. The boot is a little torn up there. It'd be nice to see a little bit of toes. I see a little tiny sculpt in there, but it'd be nice to see a few toes poking out. You can even see the sock detail. Look at that. Fantastic detail all the way around this guy. His back, some more grossness. And then his other shoe here. I love the way that foot flips up right here. Little flip to the foot. Now this guy is going to plug right in here. I want to be careful. See it right there? He's going to plug right in there. I'm wondering where his foot will go. It looks like his foot's going to go right here. Maybe. This one was a little tricky to slide in, but just eye it up, slide it in there, and his other foot will rest down here. And next up is one of the really cool aspects, the busted head. That's going to be, I'm assuming it's kind of like a 2-in-1. Yeah, it is. You have the head going in there and his hands going in there. So you're going to plug it in at the same time right there. All right, this is real rare to happen with these higher end statues, but apparently I have a plug that, if you look at it, it is slightly bent. So what's happening is, since this piece and the head plug in together, it needs to literally line up exact. And since it's bent, he's just a hair too much to the left to where his hand is actually resting on that guy's stump. So I am going to risk it since it's a review. Normally I would just contact the company and, you know, they'll help you out, but I am going to risk it. I guess I'm going to heat it up and try to straighten it out a little as I sweat bullets. All right. I'm a little bit stumped here because of that bend in that bar. I've been working on it for like 30 minutes trying to correct it, but this is like, the head is on perfect. The body is imperfect. Negan's body isn't, well, I mean, it's at a slant, but Negan's imperfect. Everything is where it should be. And if you put the head on, here's where his hands end up, which, like I said, that little slant down there, if it's crooked and it's sending the zombie, the farther out it goes, the more crooked it's going to get. So that would probably explain why this hand is bumping the stump. And then this should be like pulled back. I'm sorry, this should be back this way a little more. You know what I mean? Like, because of that bar being bent, if I was able to get it back a little more, it takes the hand away from the stump there and it would lock it in place. But that little bit of bend is causing me some problems. So I don't know if I'll be able to continue. Let's pop his head on. Here's his angry face. And what I think is really cool is how he has alternate heads. I think a lot of these high-end statues should come with alternate heads in case you don't like a particular likeness or you want to change it up. There's this mean scowl. And it looks just like Negan from the show. And then this, you just pop right on. Bam, that magnet is fantastic. And then there's Negan from the show, busting his head. Wow, that is so cool. I'm a little bit bummed the hands don't, that little bend in the zombie there isn't quite what it should be. And then here's the grinning or smiling Negan. I think the likeness is a little more on point with the scowl. I really like that likeness. I like the idea of a smiling Negan as he's bashing the zombies up. Wow, that magnet is in there, boy. That's a good thing. I wish Ben's magnet was like that. There we go. So here's the smiling Negan. He's loving it. Look at that. Smashed his head in. He's loving it. However, let me try and tinker with this a minute more. All right. Now, trust me. Normally, 9 times out of 10, you get a statue. It's going to go in without a problem at all. I don't know if this was designed to do this kind of. See how his arm is further out away from the stump now? Well, when you slide the pegs in, it should just simply slide right into place. What I had to do here was slot it into place and then ever so gently pull, and I felt so much resistance until I was able to just simply, out of frustration, lock this into place. 9 times out of 10, 99% of the time you buy this or any other high-end statue, it'll all go in fine. It took me how many different statues before I ran into something that was a little bit of a problem, but this is it here. Let me get rid of some of my tools. We'll leave Negan's head here. We got Ben down at the bottom. We got this headache zombie here. And then we got this guy. He's a little too clingy. He's hanging on for dear life to Negan. So here's the statue. Looks fantastic. Let's get it up on the shelf. And I have all the confidence in the world for Skybound to replace or help me out here if this was a permanent issue. Now, I know something is wrong because this foot isn't all the way touching. And when I lifted it up, it is real wobbly. See, it was just chattering away. And never move these statues when you have a figure that is, or a piece of the statue that is even a little bit loosely magnetized. So I'm going to put Ben back there. And here we go. Full 360 spinnable display. You got the walker getting his head smashed in. I love that. That is so cool. The way it catches with the light, it's probably a little washed out now because the white walls in the background kind of reflecting that light, the way it blinds you in the camera. But this is definitely cool. The Walking Dead Negan. I love having the two Negans side by side. Now he's on a mountain. He's a bit heavier, a bit beefier, but I think you can see what I mean. How the TV characters. Oh, I almost actually dropped his head. That's my favorite likeness too. I would have cried right on camera. It's because these gloves are slick. The TV characters might be a little bit of a size difference if you put the heads up to each other. I just noticed this too. If you have a head and you have a metal display, just put your alternate head right on the display. Anyway, that's that magnet. Holy shit. Anyhow, if you look at the size, yeah, I know Comic Negan is a bit bigger, but it still looks like it's a hair difference between the show and the comic version. But I think that's friggin' awesome having them side by side. And here is, let me move him. Take this. That head does look cool now that I'm looking at it. Yeah, from this angle, that looks pretty sweet. I love the way that blood just reflects off the light. That translucent resin that they got in there. A little bit of hair from my glove. Man, That magnet is tough. There we go. All right. I like that head a lot. I think outside of the effect, because look, if you look in there, you have his brain, you have the back of his head just exploding. You have some of Lucille. You can see a little bit of barbed wire, but so much blood it covers it up. But I think one of my favorite aspects is the clinger. Although the action catches your eye, I love how that clinger looks. But yeah, I guess that's it. I don't think I needed to do a 20-minute video on the statue, but here it is. Damn, that looks cool. And the... All right, I got to stop screwing around. I just dropped the other head, and you know what saved my ass? That tough-ass magnet. he just fell and then re-caught. All right, let me stop screwing around. One last look. Yeah, there goes that other head. And always be careful how close it is to the wall. You don't want to spin it and then crack something. I had a friend that said he cracked his Rick. He put it on the shelf and he went to spin it just to give it a different look. And he wasn't judging how close it was to the wall. And it was the translucent stuff. Just shattered. All right, guys, let me know what you think about the statue. And let me know if you're going to grab it, because I think for the price, it'd be crazy not to grab it if you're a fan of Negan, The Walking Dead, or zombies. Even if you're just a zombie fan, this piece for the price is absolutely worth it. I probably got the only slightly problematic one out of the whole bunch. That's how well made they are. All right, comments below. I'm done.